My name is John Adams.
And we are?
You guys are like dancers and yogis, but not so hardcore, not so necessarily. So the topic, or the title of this presentation is that your body is not just physical. It's about somatics and bodywork applications. Let's try an experiment, if you will, with me. You can get a little space, push back from the tables a little bit. And round your shoulders forward and let your head droop forward and down, and just kind of feel your chest cave in a little bit and sigh a little bit. And when you're ready, say, "Life is great."
Life is great.
Okay, yeah, you can sit normal. Next part of the experiment, open up the chest, let the shoulders drop in the back, and open the arms up to the sky. You can have the palms sort of facing each other a little bit up. Breathe into the chest, let it open, look up a little bit. And when you're ready, say, "Life sucks."
Life sucks.
To me, that's comical. And my explanation for that, and I wonder if you felt the same thing, it's incongruent. There's an intuitive incongruity between what the body is saying and what the words are saying. And it's very hard to feel what the words are saying if the body is in opposition. So I use that as a demonstration to show how the way the body is held has an impact on the way we feel. Charlie Brown knew this. Says, "This is my depressed stance." When you're depressed, it makes a lot of difference how you stand. The worst thing you can do is straighten up and hold your head high, because then you'll start to feel better. If you're going to get any joy out of being depressed, you've got to stand like this. So, if you stand like that, or in any way, for a very long time, it becomes not just posture, but structure. The actual tissues of the body shorten and form to the way we're held. And actually, whenever you're in resistance, there's contraction, there's pulling away, there's tension. Resistance to anything that may be present. It could be emotions, it could be a person you don't like, it could be your homework. There's many situations where we hold this contraction, and that can become a more permanent fixture. And as it becomes sort of a constant, a chronic holding, it fades in the background and just becomes a part of us. So this woman, who on the left, she's got, you can see this diagram here, how forward she is, and she gains height. But if you ask the person, the woman on the left, to stand up straight, she can't. Not really. Maybe for a little bit, but it's too much to hold in mind. It's too much effort. Her structure is for this. Her structure is not in alignment. So shown here are some pictures in her progression through the 10 sessions of structural integration, which is a type of body work developed by Ida Rolf toward this, what we call expansional balance, rather than a contractional balance, and this twisting and misalignment that happens. To bring, this is after the 10th hour, and you can see that she's on top of herself. You know, her head is on her shoulders, over her ankle and knees and hips. She's gained some height. To me, it looks like more fun to be the person on the right than the one on the left. And if you bring to mind the experiment that we just did, you can imagine it probably feels a lot better to her. When you're on top of yourself, when you're below yourself, when you're in line, you feel supported. When you're supported, you're less anxious, you're less worried. You're more in this expansional balance that we're working toward with 10 sessions of structural integration. You become more spacious, less constricted, more pleasurable in the body, less painful. There's more receptivity, more resilience in the body. more openness, more breath, more vitality. So the closer you get to that, the more, just the better you feel in your life, right? Because, I mean, when you see someone walking like this, you interpret from that. You intuitively already know what I'm telling you about the body being more than just physical. We interpret that all the time, not always consciously. And so then you can imagine how when you develop this spring-loaded response to gravity that is innate within us, waiting to be unfolded in our capacity as humans, this expansional balance that we don't have to fight against gravity, but we can derive support. We are pulled to the earth so we can push down to come up and expand. And that's what we work towards in structural integration. And a resilience is a hallmark of health. And this is a chapter from the Tao Te Ching. And I wanted to include in here. It says, men are born soft and supple, dead they're stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pliant, dead they are brittle and dry. Thus whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken, and soft and supple will prevail. So an aspect of the contractional balance and the tensions that we just hold in our bodies and in our lives are what we call holding patterns. An aspect of aging that I sort of allude to in here is this rigidity. And part of that is a shrinking range of motion and a gluing together of tissues so that we lose this vitality, this capacity to explore our space and our being. But and we can work through the body on finding this resilience and this freedom, this flow, and breaking up these holding patterns. Another modality that I practice other than structural integration is called sensory repatterning. And it's very good for dissolving those holding patterns and exploring and expanding range of motion, and developing a deeper sense of relaxation and trust in life. This letting go. You don't have to hold. You can let go. And in that you can find a deeper support beneath you. So central tenet I'm trying to get across here. If you change your body, you change your life. The body is a great avenue to use to improve the overall quality of your life. That's my presentation, and by the way, I do practice structural integration and sensory patterning, and if you're interested in this, you can ask me for a card and you can ask me some more questions. Are there any questions that you have about the subject of the body work and how it can affect the way you feel and the way your body is held, or anything? What's that?
In that diagram that you showed of the woman standing, it said for the 10th hour. What does that mean?
So there's 10 sessions in the series of structural integration. For the first 3, you're looking at, so there's a balance that you're going for between the inner and the outer, what we call the core and the sleeve. The first 3 sessions are releasing the core, the sleeve, the outer doing muscles. And then the next 4 are geared toward the core, the inner being muscles. And then the last 3 are integrating the two. So that you leave this coordinated, integrated being. And so that was at the end of the 10th hour when she'd been through the 10 sessions. She was standing straight and supported. Yeah. There's an interesting relationship there too. When you release the doing sleeve muscles, when you allow the core to expand, you rest in that being, the being muscles, and that's a different way of existing in the world. You know, I think we need, given our very doing-oriented culture.
With the
sessions and with the improvement after 10 sessions, is that all that a person's gonna need ever? Or is it more that you'll get to that point where your body is free and then unfortunately everyday life is gonna cause you to have a hold in another position or
Sure.
something? I mean,
So
is the goal of structural to be a one-time 10 session, you're good to
there
go,
are
see
people
you
who
later?
will say that.
Right.
I see health as a continual process of refinement and discovery and growth. So it's more of a North Star. You can keep going toward it.
Would
However,
you recommend if you had the 10 sessions with structural to follow up with, say, sensory in order to maintain the freedom and,
I think that would be neat. I'm actually experimenting with that relationship, doing sensory first and then doing it sort of interspersed with the 10 sessions. So I'm definitely interested in that relationship. Though when you finish the 10 sessions, I would wait a while before doing what we call advanced sessions, doing some more work. Because there's always more to be done. It's just grading, different degrees of expansional balance that you can always get more.
Okay. Comments, good job.